Hey guys, so today we're gonna talk about running. So most of you, or not most of you, but a lot of you say that you don't like running very much, but I am actually a person who should probably hate running because I've had a lot of bad experiences. So today we're gonna tell you some stories about my bad experiences and why I should hate running, but I still love it. So hopefully this inspires you to like running. Maybe that's the point. I don't know. Anyways, so my very first bad experience was pretty early in my running career. So I was about 12 years old. I was homeschooled at the time. And one morning I got up and I was just like, I should go for a 3-mile run today. So I went outside and it was really nice out and I started running and I was having a great time. And there was this park with all this grass and I was like, I should run through that park. So I turned off the road and went through this park with all the grass and there were some geese over there. And I was like, I like birds usually. So I ran right next to the geese, and if you don't know this about geese, if they're a baby geese, the mama geese get really mad and they like attack you kind of. So I was running and just like minding my own business, and then suddenly this giant goose starts like flapping its wings and honking its horn, which I can't really make that noise, but it was like, rah, like right behind me, flapping right behind me as I'm running, and I'll never forget the sound because you could like hear the wings and the honking, and I remember looking and it was just, yeah, right there. So I had to run as fast as I could, and I was just this little like 7th grader sprinting across the field. And I went all the way across the park, and then I had to turn left on this bridge, and it still was following me and honking its horn, which is very unnecessary. And there were all these cars driving by, and it was very embarrassing, and nobody stopped to help me. And ever since then, I mean, I did get away, it didn't catch me. But ever since then, I've been very scared of geese, and I never ran through that park again. So I was a little traumatized. So that was my first bad experience that I can remember. Let's see, my second one was in like the 7th grade. So I joined the cross-country team, and we had this race in Ortonville, and we went there, and it was kind of a long drive, so I had to go to the bathroom. And the annoying thing is at cross-country meets, right before the race, there's always a huge line for the bathroom. So I decided to be smart, and instead of going to the clubhouse to go to the bathroom, I saw this one little porta potty sitting in the middle of the parking lot, and I was like, why is no one using that? I'm gonna go use that. So I went over to the porta potty, and I didn't have that much time before my race because we were late. Because we were always late. So I was like, I'm gonna change really fast, go to the bathroom, and then I'll be ready to go. So I get in the porta potty, and it was like this gravel parking lot, no cars parked there, so I was like, I should be good. I remember having this thought where I was like, that would suck if someone parked in front of the porta potty. But no one would do that, right? So I got in the porta potty, and I start changing, and I hear this car like driving outside, and I was like, crap, he's getting really close. And then I hear the engine turn off, and in my head I was like, he didn't park in front of the porta potty, because he could have parked anywhere else. So then I just keep changing. And the person gets out and walks away, and right when I'm ready to get out, I push the door open, and it only opens this far. And I was like, who would do that? And I had this moment where I was like, oh my gosh, I'm trapped in a porta potty. My race is gonna start in like 10 minutes. So I like tried to, and I couldn't even fit my head out, so it was like my hand could like go like this. And I was like, no one's over here, because I'm in this abandoned parking lot all by myself, trapped with a car parked in front. And I remember I had this thought where I was like, well, I could scream for help, but that's embarrassing, because you don't want to be rescued from a porta potty. And I could knock the porta potty over. So I remember I opened up the toilet and I like looked in there. I was like, well, that's kind of gross. So I probably don't want to do that. And then I tried to climb out the top, but that's like not possible. So I just sat down and I just sat there, and I'm this little 7th grader just sitting there listening. And I hear them being like, first call for the 7th grade race. And I was like, well, this sucks because I'm stuck. And they're like, second call, and I'm still just sitting there on the porta potty. And then they're like, third call, and I was like, third and final call, and I'm still sitting there. And then I hear footsteps coming, and I was like, please be the person who drives it. And I should have probably called for help, but I didn't, because I was still embarrassed that I was trapped in the porta potty because I was in the 7th grade. So I just like kept sitting there, and I was like, hopefully this person is the driver. And it was. So they start the car, and as soon as they backed up, I just burst out of the porta potty and sprinted across the parking lot to my race. And I never looked to see who was the driver, but long story short, I made it to my race and I ended up doing pretty well. But it was very traumatizing, and I'll always wonder what that driver thought as he backed up. And this little girl with like braid and glasses just came sprinting out of the porta potty. But I made it just in time. And ever since then, I don't use porta potties, and if I do, you gotta go really fast so that doesn't happen again, because that was terrible. I don't know if they ever would have found me if the car had just been parked there. Like, I don't know what would have happened, because I had no cell phone, so I could have died. All right, story number 3 was like freshman year of college, and I went for a run. Again, it was just a nice day. For some reason, I still like running at this point. And I was like, I'm just gonna go for a run through town. And I decided to go on this one street where there was this one house that they had this big dog that looked like a wolf, and we actually called it the wolf dog because it had like a long chain, and I'm pretty sure it was part wolf. But anyways, so I was running and I like see it, and it's always like pulling against his chain, and it's really scary. So I was like, you know, I'm gonna go on the other side of the road just to be safe, even though it can't get me because it's on a chain. So I just keep running, go to the other side of the road, and then suddenly as I'm running, I hear this like chain like on the road behind me. And I turn around and the giant wolf dog had broken his chain, ran across the street and was chasing me. So I didn't know what to do because I'm like, I can't fight it probably because it's bigger than me. So I just kept running, tried to run faster. And in this case, unlike the goose, it actually caught me. So he's just running behind me, and I kept running, and it just started biting me in the butt. And I was like, I don't know what to do. So I just kept running because you can't really fight it at that point. If I fall over, I'm dead. So it bit me in the butt like, it's probably like 3 to 5 times as I was just, running away. And then fortunately, this lady was there who owned the dog. She came and like yelled at it, and it stopped biting me in the butt. But then she ran and chased it down and caught it or whatever. And she asked me if I was okay, and I was like, whatever. And it was very embarrassing because there was like, blood coming out of my butt, and but yeah, whatever. So I was like, I'm just gonna go home now. So went home, and my favorite shorts were all ripped up, and I probably should have gone to the doctor and got stitches, but I didn't want to get stitches on my butt because that's weird. So I just, put some Band-Aids on there, called it good. And fortunately, I didn't get rabies, but we were worried about that for a while. And I couldn't sit down in class the next day, and I had to tell all my friends I had dog bites on my butt, and I had to miss basketball practice. And no one believed me because I said I got attacked by a dog, but I couldn't show them where I got attacked by a dog because it was all over my butt. So anyways, yeah, so that was very traumatizing. I was scared of dogs for like years. And to this day, if I'm walking and a dog runs at me, I have the instinct to run away because they're very, very scary. So I'm scared of dogs, porta potties, and geese due to running. And my last story, I guess, was actually last summer. I went for a run in Moorhead, and I was just running along. I had music in, and there was this street, and some of you may have heard this because I talked about it, because this was weird. Just running along, and I had a crosswalk, and there was a stop sign, so no cars should keep going. And as I was running, just suddenly this car comes out of nowhere, goes through the stop sign, through the crosswalk, and just hits me. And I went flying off my feet, landed on front of this car, and I rolled, landed on my feet on the other side of the car. And I was timing myself, so I didn't want to lose time. So I landed on my feet, did like almost kind of like a little like barrel roll flip thing, and just like looked at the guy, and he was like, and I just kind of looked at him and waved, and then kept running. So it was actually one of the coolest things I've ever done. And the only injury I got was my pinky hurt a little bit. And again, I never saw the guy again, so he just hit me and then drove away. So I survived it. And that one was actually cool. That wasn't traumatizing. I was actually really proud that I flipped over a car, landed, kept running, and I still think I may have PR'd my 13-mile time that day. So that one wasn't so bad. But those are my 4 bad experiences from running. I got chased by a goose, got locked in a porta potty, I got attacked by a wolf dog, and I got hit by a car. And I still like running, so you should too. End of story.
I have set many goals in the past.
So I set a goal, I auditioned for like the military music.
It was always to lose weight and be healthy.
I wanted to quit drinking.
Most of the big ones have been related to weight loss.
And I do really good at it for like 2 weeks and then get bored.
Some of them I've hit, and the whole maintaining ones I have not.
Setting various goals, like a lot of the big ones that I've put out there have come together pretty well.
So then I go back to you need to lose 20 pounds again, do that. I'm good for like 3 months, and then I'm like, 3 months later, I'm 20 pounds heavier again.
I never really had help with them in the past, so I'm not good at doing things on my own. So that is probably why I failed.
Doing what you have to do to like actually meet your goals, you gotta make it personal.
I like having something that's like something's on the line, like money, like doing the CrossFit challenge.
So I started here with the 6-week challenge, and I lost like 20 pounds during that.
Putting $500 towards something, it was like, okay, you need to be completely on track. You're not gonna break any of the rules. You're gonna work really hard.
that was really helpful because I had a coach and someone to text me and keep me accountable and tell me what to eat.
This is something I'm doing for me, and you have to be almost selfish about it.
I get that writing down goals can be really important.
I always write them down, but I like the idea of writing them every day.
I think the biggest thing would be the frequency of reading them or rewriting them. Like sticking it on your mirror in the morning is what a lot of people said to do.
I'm gonna take time away from doing this. I'm gonna take time away sometime from family or this because I have a specific goal that I wanna do.
I should really do that more. That's probably the biggest thing I don't do. I write them down and then they kind of get lost in the shuffle.
It's just about sticking with it every day and keeping yourself accountable and make sure that it's like a really set personal thing that is part of who you are, I guess.
I set 2 90-day goals. The first one is to lose 20 pounds.
So this year, I want to be under 25% body fat.
I want to do a certain set amount into my savings plan for work.
And then the next one was to get to the gym again 3 times a week.
I want to lose weight too. I think like 20 pounds.
I'd like to get back up to my 200-pound back squat by October 10th.
I've been trying to do a half marathon here for about 3 years running.
I wanted to be able to do 5 pull-ups without any bands. No matter what kind of pull-up it is, I just want to be able to do 5 without a band. I'm going to do those challenges that the gym has set up. I'm probably going to do both the detox and the New Year challenge.
Like I said, I'm pretty serious about this whole half marathon thing. It's like this is gonna happen.
So I already work with Rhoda one-on-one. We meet every couple weeks. So that's really helpful.
And then I think the biggest part is I just need to work on my mindset. And I'll probably have to work with like Anna or Rhoda on just figuring out the small steps to take in that once the challenges are over.
I think of goal setting is you just gotta be persistent because it doesn't always work out. But this year it's like I'm gonna do it. I don't care if I'm running by myself in a trail that nobody knows about and it's just me chilling. I'm gonna run it anyway.
And yeah, just I need to come here more and be more involved.
I planned out the route that I want to do because I'm kind of making my own one of a half marathon and like map it out but have like a visual like that's the route, you know what I mean? And if I run like, you know, I want to be 6 to 8 miles and I make that, I can say, okay, out of my marathon route I can go from here to here. I've already ran that much. I know I've got that down. And those are kind of good benchmarks to go by. They kind of keep you motivated.
You know, next week I'll do better. Next week I'll do better. Next week I'll do better. Next thing you know, it's 3 months down the road and I'm like, well, haven't done any better.
Like that, like don't just set a goal and magically think if you just kind of like go about it, you know, in a year you're just gonna be there. You're gonna be like, oh yeah, this happened. You know, so you gotta have like, what's gonna happen this month or what's gonna happen next month or where do you wanna see yourself and how do you keep yourself going with it, so.
I would really like to get all of my goals, like all 3 of the weight ones and the 2 lifting ones would be super awesome. Feel really accomplished.
Also this year, I want to do CrossFit competitions. I want to do 1 individual one and 1 team one. So I'm really excited to do that.
As far as like goal setting and looking towards making that a part of your life, it's like you're not gonna find too many other things like CrossFit where it runs the gamut from this skill set to this skill set.
I can honestly say joining CrossFit is the best decision that I ever made for myself.
So you're never gonna run short of goals you can make, whether it's long-term or short-term. You have all the tools to not necessarily just set goals, but make them happen.
It helped just to push me and keep me motivated.
And you have other people to keep you accountable. You have great coaches here.
Everyone here is so great all the time.
I just think if someone's looking for making that change for 2020 or, you know, doing that thing or just looking towards it and they've always been kind of like, hey, what about this CrossFit thing? Whatever goals you have, all that you need to do it are here.
And I'm really glad that I joined.
It's always been a great thing for me, so I encourage anybody else too.